Hello everyone, welcome to our channel The Planner's Way. In this video, I am going to demonstrate you how to create the resource codes and role code in the P6 and how we can use these codes to categorize our data for a perfect reporting. Let's quickly go through what the codes are. Codes in the Primavera acts as the classification tags to categorize the data to enhance our reporting purpose. They don't change any dates or scheduling logics, but they help us group sort and filter the data for the reporting and information purpose. Depending upon our reporting requirement, we can assign the number of codes onto an resource. There is no limit that we can assign this much number of codes to a resource. It solely depends on our reporting purpose. Codes are introduced in a purpose to answer the question like what discipline this resource belongs to, which trade the resource belongs to, what's its employment type, or what its category. On that case, we can define the resource code to the particular resource and it helps us on better reporting. Let me firstly go with the resource window. In the last video, we are creating the pool of resources on which I have added just a couple of resources for the demo purpose. I have completed all the pool of resources. To keep the things on the high level, I have kept the role as a resource. That means I haven't categorized the project manager onto their names. I have just kept the resource as a role there. Under project manager as well, we can keep across, okay, project manager Jeff or project manager Young as per their name. But to keep the things simple, I have categorized the resources as a role. You can do as per your requirement. Now the first category of the resources we need to build up. Okay, these are the labor resource, these are the non-labor resource, and these are our materials that we used on this project. So for that, to create a resource code, we need to go on enterprise resource codes. There are some inbuilt resource code as well, but we are going to create a new one. So for that, we need to hit on modify. From there, we can add a new resource code. And let's make the resource code name resource category. By categorizing the resource firstly and close it. Now we have a new resource code called resource category, and under which we can put across our code values, which are labor, non-labor, and materials. You can create as much the code value that you want. And the materials. This is our first category of the resource code, where we have built up a resource, a code under name resource category. Let's introduce couple more. We can categorize as per the discipline, as per our skills, as per the employment type, as per this subcontractor wise as well, if there are resources that belongs to more than one subcontract. Let me introduce a new category named skill. We can categorize skill wise, and I'll add one more where I'll keep the name discipline. We have introduced 3 resource categories. Now we can introduce the code values under the discipline and skill category. On the discipline one, I'll keep management. Let's place civil, Excel, and architectural, MEP, and I'll leave as it is now. Management, civil, structure, architecture, MEP. A couple more. Let's put safety, one more. You can place the code value as per your project requirement. There is no boundary how much code value you can put across one resource. And going on to the skill wise, the resource can be technical, non-technical, and if you know, you can subcategorize the code value as well. If under technical you want to put a new category of the resource, engineer, and supervisors, you can place like this. You can even categorize the code values as well. So then a supervisor, I will place management. There are some technical people who belongs to management as well. Okay, now we have introduced 3 of the resource category. Now the next step is assign these categories to those resources that we have built up. The first way we can assign the codes is from the code tab under the detail section, from where we can assign. And if you see, there are different resource category as we have built up the 3. One is the resource category, second is skill, and the discipline. Under resource category, the project manager fits under the labor resource. From the skill category, the project management fall under management, and the discipline, it fall under the management. For the construction manager, we can pick up the labor. Secondly, it fall under technical, the management, and third, it will fall under the management of the discipline. So on, you can categorize all the resources in this way. You can place across the code. This is one way we can place across the code, but it is a bit time consuming. So the next way, I'll show you how we can pick up the codes quickly. For that, we need to put the columns. Right click, columns, customize. Under resource code, we have 3 of the category. One is the resource category, second is the skill, third is the discipline that we have made up. Apply, okay. Once we have customized all 3 columns, now I can show you how you can assign the codes using these columns. As you know, for the resource category, for all the resource sitting under Manpower, we have the labor. So what I can do is I'll select the first one and go up to the last and do fill down for those. Once I do fill down, it will automatically pick up all the codes under the resource. If you check, there will be all the resources have got the category labor. And if you see on the resource category, it is reflecting LA, which is the labor code value. We can sort the things whether to reflect the code value or the code description. For that, we need to go to edit menu and user preference. And from the applications, if we hit on description, on this case, it will change to description. Whatever the description is, it will reflect on the column. As per your requirement, you can pick up whether to reflect the code value or that of the description. And similarly, we can pick up the other codes for the other resources. For the quantity surveyor, I know it sits under the engineering background. We can put up engineer. What you can do is you can select those resources which are alike. To place the code for the skill, I want to place the engineer up to site engineer. What I can do, I can pick up the engineer up to site engineer and I can fill down from there. Once I fill down, it will pick up the code for the engineers. So on, I'll complete my resource code at my own. Now you have got the general idea of how we can categorize the resources. And this resource category will help us while our reporting purpose and creating out the filters. If you want to filter those resources which come under labor or that of the engineer on those aspects, you can use these resource codes. And similarly for the role code, we need to hit an price and go on role codes, and from there we can modify and add a new role code. Role code are used to categorize the roles, and they are used during the preliminary phase of the planning, as the roles are used during the preliminary phase of planning. So from here we can define the role code. We can define the role code depending upon their role level, and once we have defined the role code, after that you need to define the role code value as you have defined for the resource code. The role might be, some people will be the senior level, some will be mid level, and some of them will be junior level, and some of them are the we can say workers. Okay, I have created one role code to demonstrate you under name, role level, and place across 4 of the code values: senior, mid level, junior, workers. And these role codes will also act in the similar way we have created the resource codes. And to assign the role codes, we need to be on the role window. And once we are on the role window, the roles that we have created for the corporate office tower are project manager, project engineer, and skill worker. For those, we can assign the role codes, hit and assign. Project manager is the senior level. Project engineer, we can keep as a mid level. And skill worker, we can keep as workers. On this way, we can put across the codes for the roles. And in the same way, these codes will help during group and sort, filter, and reporting purpose. According to your requirements in the project, you can define the role codes as well. That's all regarding the video on resource and role codes. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to hear more from us, please subscribe to Plans Way. I'll see you in the next video.